Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company, Tape Armor, and Rolls Gear. And you can find all of our old episodes at bjjshow.com. I'm Rob, and, well, the conversation between Randy and I started out as talking about whiskey and other booze, but we did eventually get to talking about the Origin Immersion Camp and how it went. And we did discuss a little bit about maybe some of the tournaments we want to see and or put together. So, let us know what you think about that. Shoot us a message if it's something you'd be interested in participating in, but I think we can make it work out. And also, don't forget, on the 21st of September, we will be at the Tap Cancer Out tournament in North Carolina. We'd love to interview you. We'd love to take video of your matches. I think we might even have a table set up there. We don't know yet, but make sure you come by, say hello, meet us. Might have a few stickers for you, so don't forget to visit bjjshow.com to find out more about some stuff going on, and we hope you guys like this episode.
I guess the worst part of it was supposed to hit at around 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, which by then I was fast asleep. But, all I saw were the occasional wind gusts and a little bit of rain. There was nothing here.
Yeah.
So.
I was up anyways because, I'm doing night shift, so just kind of laying out, waiting for something terrible. I'd hear like a real big, like you said, wind gust, and just go outside and look and be like, nothing. Everything's still here.
Yeah, those people in the Bahamas, though, man, I feel for them. They got smashed.
Yeah, dude, that's so bad. Myrtle Beach is pretty much done for as well. Not done for, but they got hit pretty hard.
Ocracoke Island over there off the coast of Carolina got blasted too.
Damn, dude, that sucks. All of those areas. Well, on that depressing note, this is the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show. I'm Rob.
I'm Randy.
And, we have survived somewhat of a hurricane. We were very fortunate that we didn't get hit by it as bad as some of the other people did. So we're very lucky.
I agree. I didn't get called into work, and I got to enjoy some booze, because North Carolina, that's how you deal with a hurricane. You booze it up. That's just kind of the way you do it. So. Yeah,
I actually did as well. I went really, really, really old school. In fact, I was drinking old fashions while I was waiting for the hurricane to come pick the shed up out of my backyard and throw it 100 yards south of me or whatever. But the internet was going in and out, which was kind of I wouldn't say uncommon, but it was still kind of a surprise that it was still affecting us enough that the internet was going in and out. Power was fine, but internet sucked.
Which is why we didn't do a hurricane episode. We had talked about doing an episode in the midst of Hurricane Dorrian. But
I should have driven up. That really... Nah, actually, no, that would have been a bad idea. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not drive in a hurricane,
No. So
I had...
sorry, go ahead.
I wasn't far off from you with the old fashions. That would have been delicious, but I ended up having... I started with a little bit of rum.
Yeah.
I had what's called a rum Ricky. I'm not sure if you ever had that or not.
I have not.
It's delicious. It's called a rum Ricky, and it's it was Bacardi Superior with some ice cubes, some limes, and a teaspoon of sugar, and it's absolutely delicious, very refreshing, kind of mojito-ish.
Right.
And then I switched. I was okay. I can only do one of those because the lime is a little crazy, and then I ended up switching over to Old Forester, 1920 bourbon. So.
Ooh, that definitely does sound... Well, my friend Wayne came over because his washer kind of shit the bed. But I'm kind of in the same boat because my dishwasher just shit the bed too. So he came over with did some laundry, and we drank sake for about an hour until he washed his clothes and dried them, and then that was it too. So it was a mixed bag. We were going all over the world with what we were drinking, I guess.
Yeah, why not? Then let me ask you this. I was listening to your I believe it was either the Ewok or the Birdman episode while you were such a lucky bastard to be up there at Origin Camp. I'm going next year. Nothing is going to hold me back next year.
Excuse me. I didn't cough because of that. I'm that's going to be a good trip. That's going to be a hell of a trip.
But I heard you mention Toki.
Yes, yes, yes. So on the way up, right? So I guess I'm now, or I was, kind of put into something called the Horsemen, which are some of the OGs from the Origin Camp, and I was excited to see them all again. So I said, hey, I'm going to grab a couple bottles of special drink so we can share a drink, and I'll open it when I get there. And me and James Hoffman, the owner of Trap and Roll Soap Company, we stopped at a New Hampshire liquor place. I guess we'll try New Hampshire liquor place.
Yeah.
And dude, I stood up just listening to James the whole week. I'm like, fuck, that's such a cool accent. But anyway, so I saw that they had Toki at Suntory, and I was like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna get 2 bottles of this, right? Got 2 bottles of it, drove up, then we cracked it open, we all had a drink, and we all, got to chill by the campfire and kind of relax. And then we only had 1 bottle, and we weren't going real crazy. But during the episode, I brought the bottle into Birdman and Ewok's cabin, and they're like, oh, what is that? I'm like, you want some? And Ewok was all about it, and he's like, fuck yeah, make sure you bring that to the interview. So we did. And I still had another bottle, so I was like, hey, I got more. So that's my story of Suntory and Toki.
That's a delicious whiskey. The more expensive version is called Hibiki, and
Yes.
that is out of this world. But it's about $70 for a fifth if you can put your hands on it. But it is one of the smoothest whiskeys you'll ever have.
What's interesting was when I was in Germany, the PX, the base PX, had Hibiki, and they had it on sale because nobody was buying it.
What?
So you're picking up bottles, and I didn't know that until I got stateside, because I was like, oh, dude, Hibiki, like, as a Japanese whiskey, it's $40? Sure, why not?
$40.
$40, dude. Yeah, absolutely. And I joke about accidentally getting drunk. That was definitely an accidentally getting drunk type thing, because I remember I was drinking, and I was playing, I don't know, Call of Duty or whatever, and I'm just drinking. I'm like, oh, this is real smooth, real easy, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my dude, I gotta put this shit down, like, or else I'm gonna
that was a similar which, by the way, I just poured myself a glass of Toki because I have a small amount left in my apartment, because that's one of my favorite whiskeys.
There you go.
But Hibiki was kind of a similar first exposure for me. A buddy of mine, I went to a house party, and he happened to bring a box and had the bottle of Hibiki in it. And told me to try some. At the time, I wasn't really in the mood for bourbon or whiskey. I wanted just kind of, I just wanted some beer. And he was like, no, you got to try it. You got to try it. Try a sip, turns into 2 or 3, and it's one of those same things. You're like, I need to stop. Because this is so smooth and so delicious. Which, anybody listening, you don't have to be a huge whiskey or bourbon connoisseur to enjoy it. I really think that if you're going to try Japanese whiskey, that Toki is the way to introduce yourself to it, because it's affordable, and it's not far off from the Hibiki. It's really not.
No, the Hibiki's a bit smoother, but still at the same time, like, Toki does the trick. I was just drinking it easy, had some ice in it, and that was it. You sit there and you drink and you have a good time, and then, like, I don't know, man. So I've been looking at kind of ways to kind of cut back on calories and whatnot. And I think going straight liquor and being mindful about it is a lot easier than crushing like a 6-pack of beer. You know what I mean?
I agree 100%. That's why I usually limit myself to about 1 beer, maybe 2, depending on what kind of beer it is. But I'm in the same boat as you. I want to enjoy the alcohol. I don't want to kill the abs too much. And so I think going bourbon on the rocks, or whiskey on the rocks, or maybe some decent rum, like some Appleton Estate rum on the rock, that's kind of the way to go. So apparently vodka has 0 calories just by itself.
Yeah, by itself. And that's why drink of choice when I was like really, really, really training hard would be like a vodka diet tonic. And
nice.
Then just you throw some lime juice in it and you feel fancy, and do that on the weekends, and you don't wake up wanting to punch yourself in the face really hard because you drank like 2,000 calories worth of just, I don't know, beer.
Well, and I mean, not that we're an alcohol podcast, but for the sake of, we can relate this to jiu-jitsu as far as training, right? But one of my favorite vodkas out there at the moment is Deep Eddy Lemon. Have you had that?
No, I haven't.
So very low calorie. It's not 0 calorie because there are some things added to it, i.e. the lemon.
Right.
And a little bit of sugar, but not much. It's negligible. But Deep Eddy Lemon, what I do, I can't take credit for it. Bartender over at Bass Lake Draft House introduced me to the idea. But you take a glass, typical glass, put some ice cubes in it, do your double of Deep Eddy lemon, and then pour the rest of the glass with water.
Huh.
And it sounds crazy because you're like, what? That sounds like a lot of water. But it tastes like if you were to order water at the restaurant with lemon. That's what it tastes like.
Really?
And it's very refreshing, super refreshing, super refreshing, especially after training. And the beautiful thing about it is you have a couple of those, you get a nice little buzz. You're not going to wake up feeling like shit because you're properly hydrated because you've taken in more water than alcohol.
Interesting. Very
so worth a shot. Worth a shot. Deep Eddy lemon.
I'm going to try that out, actually. That sounds really good. And then, I don't know, man, like, that's kind of like what the whole week was, this past week of training, was you do like 3 classes a day, right? Hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, you just kind of hang out with your friends and you drink or you relax or I guess you podcast or you you can do whatever you want, man. It's pretty cool. Like, so, I mean, I guess that's a good thing. I brought those 2 bottles as well. And then Alex Bissett, he's a real solid dude. We met him this year, and he was kind enough to open up his house to me and James because we were traveling through. He's a friend of Aaron Chittister. He's a purple belt under Dedeco. And Alexei, I apologize, under Alexei. And he's like, dude, you guys can just sleep downstairs. He has his own mat room downstairs, so me and James just crashed out on the mats. But he was like, I don't drink beer. If you guys want to take whatever beer I have, you're more than welcome to. And he had like these 2 wash bins, like the old school metal wash bins.
Yeah.
Full of beer.
Wow.
He was like, I don't drink it. And I was like, are you sure? He's like, yeah, go ahead, take it. I don't drink beer. So that kind of supplied the debauchery for the whole week, which I'm forever grateful for Alex. Not just for that, but also because he's a solid dude.
Yeah, it sounded. I mean, every time because you went last year, right?
I
did. Last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, and that sounded like it was an epic trip too. So I definitely want to hear more about this one that you went on. I'm gonna make a point. I don't care what happens. I'm going next year. So tell me some more about. So who showed up as instructors up there?
You get some really hard hitters for instructors. Dean Lister was there. That was one of them. Alexei Cruz, who was De La Riva's first white to black belt. Like, he's the first person to promote all the way from white belt all the way to black belt under De La Riva.
Nice.
I think he's getting his 6th degree here pretty soon. So he was teaching. And then Andre Dedeco Almeida, he was on the show last year. He's a 5th degree. Or is he a 4th? Doesn't matter. He's fucking good. Hoffa was there, and then who else came to teach? Mike Swain and T-Mock showed up to teach in the first half, which was absolutely amazing. Because I remember, who was I sitting next to? I think it was James when Pete Roberts came in through the side of like the big open mat area, and they were watching. I was like, "Bro, is that fucking Mike Swain?" He's like, "Who?" No, he didn't say who, and it wasn't James because James knows Mike. I don't remember who it was, but I was like, "Dude, it's fucking Mike Swain." And we got to do a judo class with him and T-Mock, and really tightened up a few of my throws, which was nice. And I regretted it the next day because me and this other brown belt, everybody else is kind of taking it easy and trying to get into it, and me and him just kept going at each other like throwing the shit out of each other, just doing the reps over and over. So the next day I woke up and I was dying, but there was them. Who else was teaching? Jocko taught. Echo Charles taught. Who else was there?
What did they go over? I'd be curious. I mean, it seems like Jocko is big time into like the front headlock series, but
so what they did this year was they broke out the different belts. So you had white belts, you had blue and purple, and then you had brown and black. So I got lumped in the brown and black group, and we primarily had a lot of Alexei and Dedeco and Hoffa teaching, and they we went over a lot of guard passes. Pete taught some, Jocko taught some to us as well. Who else came through and taught? I'm trying to remember, but there was a lot going on there. So I don't know what Jocko was teaching the white belts, but with us, we went through some guard passing with him, like a real mean knee slicer guard pass that he likes to use. Really enjoyed that. We did a lot of counters to De La Hiva. We did a lot of a really nasty sweep from somebody trying to knee slice past you as well, which was awesome.
Nice.
And, yeah, just a lot of rolling, a lot of open mats, and getting to hang out and eat lobster and food with all these guys and just kind of chilling. It was a good week, man. It was really good.
And you get to see Echo Charles get his black belt, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he was sitting 2 next to me. Like, he was in the center, and I was like, oh, what's up, dude? And then we all kind of, because we saw him last year as well and kind of said what's up. And just sat down at that first, like, go-round, and he got promoted. Yeah, it was kind of surprising, a really cool thing to witness, man. You don't always get to see people get their black belts. I mean, it's kind of rare, actually, now that I think about it, but it was
What
really
a cool
cool.
environment, too. I mean, that's a cool place to do it.
Yeah, because, I mean,
that's
we John Foster, who's a black belt under Alexei, got his black belt as well. He's a big staple, I guess, at Canada. I'm just kidding, Canada. He's a Canadian guy, but he really talented dude, and he got his black belt as well. He did. He got it during one of the breakout. I think it was the first breakout, in fact, because, I mean, this guy's been a brown belt since probably as long as I've been doing jiu-jitsu. It was about time for me to do it. But, yeah, it was a couple promotions. Some other guys got their purple belts as well, but that was it, man. I mean, it was a cool place to get promoted. I would definitely, like, that would be a really awesome place to get a promotion done. No matter, like, how big or small it is, just being there and having everybody give you, like, everybody see it.
Yeah, now, I mean, because let's face it, Echo kind of gets overshadowed a little bit by Jocko sometimes, and he loves his role that he's got. I mean, but you don't hear much about his jiu-jitsu prowess.
Yeah.
What is he like in jiu-jitsu? What's his game like?
So, unfortunately, because of the breakouts and stuff, I only got to train with Jocko and Echo once. The majority of the time, so I didn't get to see Echo's game, but I heard it's very, like, it's similar to Jocko's, from what I was told. I don't know if that's true or not, but mainly, yeah, it was one of my main things I liked working on was De La Hiva. So getting to learn more about, like, counters and stuff like that from Alexei and Dedeca, that was kind of like my goal for that whole week, was kind of pick their brains and stuff. But
Oh yeah,
I think the breakout kind of limited who you got to work with, but I think at the same time it really, as opposed to everybody being lumped together, and you had people there who never rolled before, like never done jiu-jitsu again this year. And so, I mean, if everybody was together, you kind of got to teach the lowest level. And as much as I like shrimping, and shrimping is good for you folks, you got to learn how to shrimp. You like, I need to work on some other stuff. You know what I mean?
well, and that's I can see how that'd be frustrating. It's a BJJ immersion camp. You would think that the bulk of the people that go would have some exposure to jiu-jitsu to pay that kind of money to be there in that environment. I mean, I'm with you. I wouldn't, if I go for an immersion camp and I spend over $1,000 to go and be in a completely different state for a week or more, I want to see some shit that I've never seen before,
Yeah.
or at least be able to polish up some things in a way that I've, be able to utilize some of the fundamentals in a way I never would have thought of. And that's what I go there for. I can get everything else in my regular jiu-jitsu class locally. I don't need to go to Maine for that, So I agree with you. I think that being able to train with guys like the Deco and, get that exposure. I'm a huge Jocko Willing fan. I love his podcast. I love what the material he puts out, the support that he has for law enforcement, military. And, but at the same time, if I'm going to immersion camp, it ain't about Jocko. It's about the jiu-jitsu,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was good to have him there. He definitely has brought a whole new cluster of people to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, but yeah, at the same time, like I said, I want to get, but we're approaching it from a brown belt level. You know what I mean? Like we've been around the block a bit. We understand what the basics are. We kind of understand that we need to continue to practice the basics. But like you said, you can get that at TFTC or the club on base here or whatever it is. It's not necessarily I need to travel that far to immerse myself into the UPA drill.
Right.
Whereas like I show up to see my friends, and I show up to kind of like go on an adventure. I'm going to Maine, You know, I'm in the middle of the woods. There are bears out there. It's cool. I'm not armed. Makes it even not as cool. But and then I just get to hang out with jiu-jitsu people and learn more jiu-jitsu stuff and see shit that I've never seen before. Especially if I roll with people. So I rolled with a guy, Jimmy Mack. He's a black belt under Alexei as well, or Dedeco. And I did my usual north-south escape, and he caught me in this really nasty collar choke. Like, pinned me. I couldn't move. And I was like, holy shit, how'd you... But that's something that is normally in my game that he completely, like, negated and gave me an option of, like, hey, look, if somebody does this, because it's a pretty normal escape. It's like the pendulum escape, and then you, like, kind of shrimp out that way.
Right.
He gave me an option to stop somebody and then something else to look for. So you're not always being predictable, and then, you know, you get choked out that way.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I would go there for. Ways to polish up my game a little bit and get some things that you don't see very often. I mean, because I feel like even though from school to school you're going to see some different styles of grappling, it's still a small community. You're still going to see certain trends. Like if you go to the West Coast and train jiu-jitsu, I'm sure it looks a little bit different than it does here in North Carolina versus how it looks up in New York. But then you go to immersion camp up in Maine, you get people from all over the place, from the West Coast, the East Coast, the South. You're going to get exposed to so many different things, and the growth potential there is pretty awesome. No,
it really is. And it's all the basics, like you said. It's going to look a little different from West Coast to East Coast, but everybody does an arm lock, you know, like a key lock the same way, or an Americana, or whatever you want to call it. Name might be a little different. But I think another cool part of it was that Wednesday we got to go down to Portland, Maine, and just hang out and visit some breweries. Ben Moore, who runs, it's a blog called The Active Beer Geek, and he used to do a podcast. I think he's getting back into it, but this guy knows his beer. He was just in Iceland doing some touring with beer, and he showed us around, and we went to some places, and then we went to some restaurant. It was called Mami. It was or Mami, M-A-M-I, and it was run by a guy who was on Chopped, and it was amazing. It was voted the best Japanese like restaurant in Portland, Maine. And it's not even like a sit down like hibachi, you know, like a real fancy place. It's like, hey, what do you want? It's like, oh, I'll get the octopus balls, or I'll get the you know, you can get a burger. It's called the Big Mommy, I think it is, and it's absolutely delicious. And it, like, you get to see all that stuff not a lot of people get to see, and just kind of hang out with, you know, your jiu-jitsu friends. So I really think it's an experience for people to do, and I would suggest it for anybody who's maybe a blue belt and above. White belt's not bad. Maybe if you're getting close, but like definitely blue belt and above. You'll really appreciate it.
And how long was it total?
It was about a week, I think, Sunday to Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah. Sunday was like,
I definitely want to.
Oh, dude, let's do it next year. As long as I'm not like tangled up with work, I should be good to go.
Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to go. I think that'd be a really cool thing. I'm trying to look for ways now. I've been kind of doing the same old grind for quite a while now in jiu-jitsu, and occasionally I'll drop into somebody else's school and get exposed to some different stuff, but for the most part, I've just been doing the same old shit. I would love to take a little sabbatical, jiu-jitsu sabbatical, you know, go somewhere like that and just broaden my horizons a bit. Plus, I've got some family in Maine, up in Bangor. I don't think it's anywhere close to where you guys were at.
Yeah, it was a few hours like past where we were.
Yeah, but I mean, Maine is absolutely beautiful, so I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that again. Getting a little bit of separating myself from society a little bit.
Yeah, go out there in a cabin. We barely had any internet. I had to go up to the cafeteria to like upload the episodes and stuff. People would come over. And what's cool too is, yeah, we've reached out. We've got new listeners. So, you know, even today I've gotten like 3 separate messages about like, hey man, you know, thanks for putting up the show. I learned about it at camp. So if you're listening and you're from the camp, much appreciated, y'all. I appreciate you guys sticking it out and listening to us and putting up with me making an ass of myself at the camp. I'm pretty good at that. I do like, what was it? So JP Donnell and Pete Roberts had a match. And it was, if J.P. Donnell could pass his guard and submit Pete Roberts, then he won the match. But if Pete swept J.P. 7 times, or 1 time with like a feet over the head sweep, you know, like completely going over, he won. So at one point, I'm like, dude, I'm fucking thirsty. and Origin supplies us with all these drinks. So at one, I timed it absolutely wrong. I feel kind of like, so it's a can, right? It's what is it? It's a force multiple. They call it a force. It's like a go. It's called Jocko. Go.
Yeah. I saw the advertisement for the cans. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I drink a lot of them. So, so I'm like, shit, I'm fucking thirsty, man. I walk over because they had the little coolers everywhere. I grabbed one, and I timed it absolutely wrong. So like as soon as everybody stopped cheering and went quiet, you hear me crack open the can, like in the back part of the mat. Everybody just looks at me, and I was like, what? I'm fucking thirsty. Sorry. I was like, God damn it, that was absolutely not a good time. Not a good time. That was not good timing whatsoever. But
hey, how do those things taste though?
The lemon lime one's really good. I like that.
Because I've taken the Go before. I've got the tablet, the pill form. I got the bottles of Jocko Go, and I use it. I don't use it all the time because I feel like with stuff like that, you can kind of like negate some of the benefits of it by using it all the time.
Yeah.
But I use it when I'm teaching classes or when I'm in my SWAT training or element, because I feel like it really does kind of like enhance your focus and kind of your drive, but not in a way that gives you the shakes. So I do like that.
Yeah, so you don't poop your pants, man. Fuck.
Yeah. I was curious how I saw the advertisement. I'm like, damn, that's awesome. They're canning it now. So I'm going to have to check that out.
Yeah, I would drink like 2 or 3 a day. Like it was usually either right before or during training. So that was really it. Yeah, I don't think I was just lounging around in my cabin drinking Go. It was mainly water or beer. Yeah, that's whatever.
So I mean, what do you guys do? So you get up in the morning. Like, what's like an average day in the immersion camp from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed?
All right, so an average day or like a me day?
A you day. Let's get a look at the world from the eyes of Rob.
All right, so wake up around 7:30, 8, somewhere in there. You know, breakfast is served. This past year, I got up, put some clothes on. We'd go up to the cafeteria, sit down, eat. Like, you know, and they give you an hour for breakfast, but in reality, you're kind of just there, and they're like, shit, well, training's at, 10 o'clock. So you get through your breakfast, you go back to your cabin, you throw your gi on, you go train for an hour and a half, then it's lunch, and then you go eat lunch, same thing, like you're not going to be there for an hour, and then you go back to your cabin, you change, and then go back, do training in the evening. And then, or you have free time. It depends. Like, it was 3 a day, so you have one after dinner as well. So, you're not usually stuffing your face because you don't want puke everywhere on the mat.
Right.
And that's it. You hang out with your buddies or you podcast, or in my case, get yelled at by Dean Lister as you're running uphill, and he's in a passenger seat of a golf cart doing his Arnold Schwarzenegger impression. And good times. No, it was great, man. Like, that's just a typical day, man. You get three train sessions, hour and a half in, so you're looking at 4.5 hours minimum of jiu-jitsu. You can do open mats, you can go roll. The mats are always open. That's really it, man. Like, I had to write stuff down to make sure I didn't forget certain moves. Like, I'd go back and kind of type it out on my computer and make sure I didn't forget those moves, because a lot of them they're very, very valuable. A lot of knowledge there, and just kind of like even people who weren't instructors, so like Birdman, 3rd degree black belt under Henzo. You got Danny Savory, he's another. Well, he was actually one of the instructors. Who else was there? It was just a phenom, just awesome dude to work with. There's too many. There are too many people to think of that were black belts that just showed up and just were there for camp, but you still learn from them. They're like, hey, no, watch this. Let me show you. This is what you're doing wrong.
How does it work with laundry? I mean, obviously you're washing gis like a madman.
They will wash laundry for you. Well, they'll do gis and rash guards for you. And I had to put a a note on there, but hey man, please do not dry my gis, like, because that's gonna be a bad day for me. But like, no, we had a washing machine. So we had a washing machine last year. Let me rephrase that. We had a washing machine last year, and John Milan, who's one of the big wigs over there at Orange, I think he's the warehouse manager or the factory manager. So he deals with the day-to-day kind of like creation of geese and stuff like that. He had kept the washing machine for us, and it's like a hand crank. It's a hand crank, like agitating washing machine. So think of like taking one of those big like water jugs, the kind of like you put Gatorade in, and cut it in half, and then you put like a hand crank on it so it rotates the whole piece to agitate it, right? So John brought it back and was like, oh, thank God we can do laundry, because you could also give like give your dirty laundry to the camp people and they'll wash it for like $15. I'm not super rich, man, but I gotta.
Yeah, that's.
So John did bring that by, and then something I guess that was everybody forgot to do was dry it out from last year. So you open it up, there's black mold everywhere in it.
Oh,
so man. I did my due diligence and I cleaned it like multiple times before I gave it a test run. It came out fine, so it was no big deal. But I did use a lot of paper towels and soap and a little bit of cleaning solution, but then rinse that out a lot. So I washed the thing like probably 8 or 9 times before I felt confident to put clothes in it and not create the next pandemic and kill half the population on Earth.
I was curious about that because if you're doing 3 a day, that's a lot of geese. That's a lot of washing.
Yeah, I showed up with 1 gi. They give you, if you're there for a week, you get a gi, and then I bought 2 other gis while I was there. And I brought almost all of my rash guards with me as well because I didn't want to, I didn't want to, just be nasty, dude. Like, don't be smelly. Don't be smelly. It's not that hard. Fuck. Don't be smelly.
I agree. Jiu-jitsu hygiene is so important. Don't be the smelly guy in class.
Don't be the smelly guy in class, man. Like, legitimately, you could go there, and if you could find, like we were talking about earlier, if you could find one of the seconds, it's $25 for a top, dude. It's okay. Like, you planned on eating that week. Well, guess what? You can spend that $25 instead because you're getting fed. Buy another gi top, man. You could buy almost a complete second. Like, when I say seconds, like, there's some factory defects or whatever, but it's not even that big because it's like, I'm not wearing my gis to be inspected. I'm wearing my gis for folks to grab them and fucking throw me all over the place. So, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't care about a small factory defect in an Origin gi. I think, and has nothing to do with Jocko. It's kind of like something you and I talked about before we started recording. I like Jocko, but I liked Origin before I even knew about Jocko. So, Origin just makes really good stuff. They make a really. I have, without even realizing it, like I was buying the Warrior gis before I ever started really paying attention to Origin without even realizing they were Origin. And they're, for the people that are listening, now they're enveloped into, they were always one company, but there was a separate site for the Warrior gis. Now they're all together on the Origin site.
Yep.
But the Warrior gi is a ripstop gi. Essentially, it's cotton twill, so it's a little bit different, but it's very similar in concept to ripstop. Very durable material, but super thin, very lightweight, but very, very strong. And I absolutely loved those gis. I've got 2 of them, and then I've got 2 more Origin gis. Yep. And they are, to me, the most comfortable, lightweight, fast-drying, just amazing gis I've owned. I also own Ronin gi, which I think is great. 100% made in Japan, 100% cotton ripstop pants. But to me, Origin is my favorite gi right now. So, yeah, to me, if I was there, I probably would go broke from buying so much shit that they have there.
It's funny because it was like I forgot. I showed John this because I ran up. John was at the pro shop, and I forgot that my credit card or my debit card is when I use it through Square, my wife gets the receipt through email. So I showed up and I'm like, oh, like that one, the gif of the guy walking around the tree, rubbing his hands, doing like the oh fuck yeah face. That was like me when I first got in there. I was like, shit, man, what do we got? Got a couple gis, and then I think I bought a pair of shorts too, and charged it, and no shit, like 2 minutes later, because I was talking to John, my phone buzzed, and it was like, "Are you fucking serious?" Like the message, it was like it showed the dollar amount. I was like, "Oh fuck, I forgot." Shit, my bad.
That'll be me, but I don't have a wife to answer to, so it'll be okay.
Ah, you lucky bastard.
I'm telling you.
I mean that in the nicest way possible. I mean, like with Joe, it's just kind of like, hey, there you go. I can buy geese whenever the fuck I want.
Yes, I mean, maybe my cat will get upset. I don't know, but no, I just love their gi. What kind of gi did they give you there, if you're allowed to say?
It was the same material as the Rift, but it was a different cut, and it was really nice. And then I picked up a couple of the Comp Pros, and I picked up one of the 1776 ones.
Nice.
So yeah.
Now the Rift is that new one they just put out, right?
Yeah, that thing's nice.
It looks slick, man. It really does.
I need to get one, and the reason why I didn't was because when they dropped it, that was legitimately the time frame where I was flying from Germany over to here. So I was like,
yeah.
It's like, I don't know what's going to happen. I need to save some money, that type of thing.
That's like $325, I think, right now.
Yeah, but after feeling it, well worth it. That thing is.
I imagine.
Fuck.
I imagine. You know what impressed me about the Jocko gi is how different it is from the weave that you see in your traditional gi.
Yeah.
It's so different. It feels completely different, and you first get it and it's rough, and you're like, oh man, I don't know. But then after you wash it the first time, it gets so much softer, and then every time you wash it after that, it just keeps getting softer. You're like, this is ridiculous. It's an amazing gi, and then you think it's going to be hot, but it's not.
No.
It really stays dry. It stays cool. It's super durable. One of my least favorite things about white gis is how difficult it is to keep it true white.
Yeah.
But they actually hold up pretty well.
They do a legitimately amazing job, and everything they put. And that's the thing too. I'm laughing about like factory seconds. The little defects or whatever, they're not really defects. They're more or less like there's a stitch that didn't go all the way through. I'm like, that's it? That's really it?
Yeah.
And like I have one that's a second. I'm like still rocking it, and like it got hard use out of it in Germany, because that was like the one I was using for I did the 8-hour roll-a-thon in it, no problem. And then what else had what was it? Getting ready for that tag team tournament. I was using that one. Like that thing's been
a tag team tournament.
Yeah, the one I posted up about where there was a tag team tournament.
I want to do it. I want to do a tag team tournament. That sounds awesome.
We might be the ones to do it, man. We might be the ones who have to put it on, and I'm okay with that. I think that's going to be the first foray into big jiu-jitsu tournaments. Is we're going to do the tag team tournament. We're going to completely rip off the people in Europe, because here's the reason why: copyright laws are different. And because I found that out, because like most of the stuff over there, the copyrights don't follow over like from here to there. Because what was it? The one organization I fought for pretty much took the Warner Brothers logo and turned it into their own. And I was like,
nice.
Well, can't get sued here, I guess. So we're going to do the exact opposite. This is the payback, and we're going to take the tag team tournament format, and we're going to start our own tag team tournament. And because we have to stick to our guns, Randy, we're going to need to put a timeline on this.
I mean, I like the idea, personally, tag team. And then, now this is being a little bit facetious, but if we're going to start going this whole WWE, WWF tag team style format, we need to do a Jiu-Jitsu Royal Rumble. I think that would be incredible.
Holy shit. I'm in. Let's do it. You heard it here first. Hey, and if anybody's listening to us and this shows up soon after this episode is released, you suck. Because that means that you just took Randy's idea.
Yeah.
I say that as I steal a European idea, but whatever. It's no big deal. So yeah, actually, let's game plan that, dude. I think we can find a few people who would be down for it.
That'd be a blast. That would be an absolute blast. I mean, so what was the format?
Pretty much it was 2 people, 1 person in at a time. Each person's on their teammates on the opposite side of the mat, right? So if you go in and you start a submission on the person, hold on, what's my dog eating? Hey, get out of there. But if you get put in a submission and your teammate's close enough to touch you on the mat on their side, you're good. You tag out. But if they can't get to you, then that's it. Now, what you can do also is I had to fight 2 guys back-to-back because it was pretty much like I went in there and I submitted the one dude. It was a rough roll. And then I went back out. I'm like, dude, you're fucking in. Take the next guy. I need a fucking break. Holy shit. And my partner, she got tapped out pretty quickly. I mean, they were both very tough dudes. Don't get me wrong. So it wasn't like she felt like she tripped or anything. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't outmatched. Like those guys were fucking rough. And so like that, I'm like, fuck. Turn back around, go back out on the mat, and then go face.
So then if your partner gets tapped, you got to go in there and face that person. It's at both of you, they win.
Yeah, exactly.
I like it.
It was good. It was a lot of fun. It was a ton of fun, and there was a gi and a no gi portion, and we opted only to do gi just because it was kind of a jump back into competition for both of us, and it's a good thing too because I dislocated my finger again in that that first match. So that'd be a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. We got second, which I'm happy with, and I spent the entire ride back to Wiesbaden with a taped up and splinted finger on my left hand and drinking a 6-pack of German beer. Like just letting all of it just kind of soak back in and be like, yeah, that was good. Ow, my hand hurts, but yeah, it was a good time.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
I like that idea a lot.
Let's get to work on it, man. Like I'll start writing some stuff up tomorrow if you're down for it.
Yeah, and speaking of gi and no gi, not to be bouncing around topics like crazy, but just made me think about this. So with the Origin Camp, how did you guys? So were there classes that were no gi and classes that were gi? Were they separate? Were they like predetermined? Yeah. Like that evening classes are gi and that morning classes are no gi? How'd that work?
I think afternoon was no gi if you wanted to do it, or there were some other classes that did no gi, but everything was meant to be gi only.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's important to have both. I don't understand the gyms that don't do both. So
most places do, so it's not too bad. But yeah, once again, best camp ever. Go to that camp. It was a good time.
It sounds like it. I mean, I had really wanted to go this year, and then time just slipped away. And before I knew it, me being able to get time off was not going to happen with our manpower we've got right now. But next year, it's happening. It's happening for sure.
Well, let's do it, man. It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
All right, word. So before we get out of here, is there anything you want to leave our friends and listeners with?
Just keep interacting on the page. Let's keep getting some comments on the Facebook page. Give us some feedback, what you want to hear, what you want to see. Get on that store, buy some stuff, support the podcast. We'll just keep getting better and stronger as time goes on. That's all I got.
It's the way it is, and man, I appreciate everybody listening, especially people hitting us up on the Instagram and hitting us up on Instagram. God, I'm turning my dad.
On the interwebs,
on the Google. Thank you very much. No, thank you guys for talking to us on Facebook and Instagram, and we appreciate all the interaction we have with you all. And keep it up, like Randy said. Just continue to support us. We'll try our best to give you the most entertaining content we can, and this has been the Big Jiu-Jitsu Show, and don't forget to check out our sponsors, Trap and Roll Soap Company, Tape Armor, and Rolls Gear, and you can find all of our old episodes at bjjshow.com. I'm Rob.
I'm Randy.
We'll catch you guys next time.